Hello guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope everybody's doing well, and thank you for tuning in onto this episode of the market breakdown hashtag the SMP. So guys, what I'm gonna need you to do is to please hit that like and subscribe button to receive more content like this. And so without further ado, let's dive on into the charts then. So guys, as you can see here, we are having the DXY right now. I have quite a few pairs in particular, but I'll be focusing on these four top pairs here, which is the DXY, AUD CAD, AUD JPY, and AUD USD, of which I'm going to be using the DXY as the main pair to monitor most of other USD pairs. So guys, as you can see from here, I'm on the daily time frame on the DXY, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark my first value area, which is this area over here. So why am I marking this area, guys? Okay, so before I explain that, let me just explain what happened. We previously had this 1, 2, 3 structure here. So with this structure, there was no need for us to say, right, I'm not gonna be looking for trades until until the market comes back to check that area. No, we would say that we had this 1, 2, 3. It was a bigger 1, 2, 3 for us to ignore it and say we are looking for trades that are gonna be tagging that area. It was a bigger 1, 2, 3 for us to start looking for trades actually. But what happened is the market then evolved to create something like this over here. And since the market has started creating this, I can now change my bias and say, right, I was looking for sales here, but now I have to change the way I was looking at the market and say, right, we're going to be looking for price to come back and take that area, break out, break back in, and I'm gonna be waiting for price to create something like this. First impulse, then a correction. But guys, what's also happening is, if we don't get that 1, 2, 3, if we don't get that touch over there, it's still okay, because you can see that we're also having this override here. Okay guys, you can see that we're also having this override here, in which that it could be the turning point of the market overall. What happens is, if we don't somehow come back to take that area, if we don't get that touch, we're still going to be looking for market to come back and take this area, break out, break back in. Still the same thing. It's still a good trade, nothing to worry about here. And so I'm gonna mark my value area here. And also guys, as you can see, we also had this middle section, in which that it was a pattern, because it also gave us some kind, we can say that this was a trade, because after that correction we had our first impulse, a correction. This is the correction. We then created the second impulse of the structure. Right now it's not clear on the daily, but we'll zoom in onto the smaller time frame. It's also creating another correction here, of which is gonna eventually pull as an impulse. We are not sure whether it's gonna come back to tag these areas over here, or it's gonna tag this area, break above and break back in to then start looking for trades. But this is a second correction after that middle section that's occurred over there. So let's go into the smaller time frame, guys. Alright, so guys, as you can see right now, we can see that this correction isn't really complete for us to then start saying, right, we are looking for trades. It could eventually evolve into something bigger than this, or what will happen is after that correction we created a small impulse, then created that small correction, which is now turning out to be okay, impulse, correction, impulse, small correction, impulse, a correction. After that correction we created a small impulse followed by a small correction, which is now turning out to be this is the first correction of the overall move from here, and which will make this move the second correction of the structure. So with this move now we can say, right, the sequence is good, starting from here to over there. The sequence is good. We had this first small correction and the second one is also big, so overall the move is still the same. We're looking for price to buy here. We're just not sure whether price will come to test this area or it will come to test this one. So yeah guys, there isn't much to do here on the 1 hour time frame. So let's go on and check on the next pair then. Okay, so we're gonna jump on into the daily time frame first to see what's going on here. Alright guys, so we can see that the trend here is an uptrend. You can see that we kept on moving in impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, and now we are creating that, we are coming to complete that correction over there to eventually come and fill this gap to come and take that area over there. So what I'm gonna do also is, right, I've marked an area in which that the market could eventually hit its turning point to then start looking for sales. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark my value area from here and see what is actually happening with the market. And this, I will be focusing on what's happening here guys, which is this consolidation that's occurred here. So what we do have here is I have this correction here. That correction is now turning out to be my value area. That correction gave me a value area, and what happened here is that after the correction we created the first impulse. We are now correcting, we near missed that area. What tends to happen is price usually comes back to fill those near misses, but in terms of what's occurred here, you can see that price made that turning point without coming to fill that near miss. I mean, it's still okay though, the trade is still good because we can say, right, we've near missed that area, however we still got something like this. We didn't take our value area, we just hit our turning point at our point of interest. So that doesn't mean I should stop looking for trades. No, I will still be looking for trades over there, because as you can see we are now beginning to create the first correction after this impulse. And look at how impulsive this move actually is. Look at how impulsive this move it is. So we can then start looking for something like this here, a correction. And guys, maybe some of you have noticed I don't know about that. Some of you may have noticed, some of you may have not noticed, but we would create something like a head and shoulder setup here. So with this trade, you got all the ingredients you want. You got the first impulse after tagging our point of interest. Although we didn't tag our value area, we did tag our point of interest. You got the first strong impulse without any clue behind. Price didn't leave any hook points behind in which that it will come back to tag, to fill. So we are just waiting for that correction. If we form that clear correction, the trade would be a high quality trades. I mean, it would be a high probability trade. It's highly probable that the trade is gonna play out here. So far there isn't much to do here also, but we're just gonna go ahead and zoom in onto the 1 hour time frame then. So guys, on the 1 hour time frame, you can clearly see that it's still the same thing as we saw on the 4 hour time frame. There isn't much to be done here. We are still looking for that that correction of hours. Let me not say a 1 2 3, just a clear correction for us to be able to execute the trade. So everything is there. The ingredients you need are also there. So guys, I don't see why you shouldn't be executing this trade if we get that. I wouldn't say perfect, nothing is perfect. If we don't get that correction, I mean, if we do get that correction, I don't see the reason as to why you shouldn't be able to execute this trade. So yeah, let's go into the next pair then, which is the AUD yen. Okay guys, so here on AUD yen we're gonna also do the same thing. Go back to the 1 hour time frame, to the daily time frame I mean. You can see guys that on the daily time frame the market is also an uptrend on AUD yen. So what we're gonna do is apply the same thing. We're gonna identify our value area and then try to break down what's happening. So this here is our value area. I mean, I can already see that we're also having a structure of which the market didn't come back to tag that value area over there. However, this is a daily structure, by the way. This is a daily value area also, so there's nothing to really worry about unless we see something different, of course. So we can see that we had this 1 2 3 here. We had this 1 2 3 of an expanding channel in this pair. What happened is we also had approach that touch in the form of this impulsive approach, made the first strong impulse. Now we will be waiting for that correction to occur. I mean, if it doesn't happen and price decides to come back and sell to fill these areas, it's still a good thing. However, if you do get a correction and see that and confirm by the candlesticks that the correction is a good one for you to be able to execute for buying opportunities, I mean, you can take it. It's still a good trade. I mean, guys, the market rewards you for being patient, for waiting for that clear opportunity. It doesn't reward you for always trading and placing trades for, even on things that you see, even on structures that you can see that this trade isn't gonna give me anything. No, the market rewards the patience. That's all I can say. So right now, what's happening here, it requires patience, because as I've said, what's happening here is we could come back and say, right, we will come back and take this area, or we would come back and take that area, or price could eventually start creating our correction after that impulse. So I think I'm done with this analysis over here, and there's also nothing much to be done on the 1 hour time frame. So right, let's get on into the last pair then, which is AUD USD. I think this pair is having a similar structure with the previous one, which is AUD JPY. However, the difference is on the USD pair. Oh, I had already analyzed this pair. Okay, so the difference is on the AUD USD. We did have our value area here. Price came back to tag that value area, although it didn't tag it in a form of breaking out and breaking back into the structure. It's still a good trade because we eventually tagged that value area. We also had our middle section here on this trade, so we would be looking for buying opportunities. Now this trade could eventually produce high quality trades, and as you can see here, we're already beginning to create our first correction after that strong impulse, after that strong impulsive leg. So yeah, what you need to do is to just be patient with this trade. This one is a good trade, by the way, for us to be able to execute on. Yeah, I think there's nothing to be done also on this pair here. And guys, you can see that now there's also nothing much we can do on the 1 hour time frame, as the pair has also created the same movement as the previous one, which is the AUD JPY. We approached the third touch in a form of a corrective manner, and now we're just gonna be looking for that correction to complete before we can be able to execute our trade. Right guys, I really hope you've enjoyed this episode of Sunday Market Breakdown and took notes about those key components of near misses that price has to come back and fill. Since this market breakdown had a lot to do with near misses, yet those near misses type of trades were having structures that are imposing high probability trade setups. So guys, I will be doing more content like this to help you as a trader have a better approach towards the market. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I'll be seeing you on the next episode. Have a great week ahead.